Okay, good morning, algebra students, or good afternoon, depending on what time of day it is you're watching this. All right, we're going to take some notes in your notebook. Today's lesson is on evaluating algebraic expressions. There's a few words I want you to write down, and then we'll do some practice problems. So let's get started. An expression is not an equation. It does not have an equal sign. You have two types of expressions, so you want to write these down. You have a numeric expression. See, has 5 plus 84, that's numeric. There's no variables in the expression. And then you have an algebraic expressions. Remember that expressions do not have equal signs. They are not equations. Okay? Next. All right, two more words you need to have in your notes. Oops, excuse me, meant to push that. Variable. A variable is a number represented by a letter or symbol. This value can vary or change. You've seen this several times. So any kind of letter, you could have 5x, you could have 2y plus 3. All right, the letter is the variable, and it is a number that is represented by a letter or symbol, and the value can vary or change. Second is constant. A constant is a value that cannot change. So in these examples, the 5 right here is a constant, and the 2 and the 3 are constants in the second example. So have that in your notes. So know the difference between a variable and a constant. So our job today is to learn to evaluate algebraic expressions. To evaluate means to solve by substitution. To evaluate means to solve by substitution. Put that in your notes. An example would be this, so write this down. Evaluate the variable expression when n is equal to 6. So we have an expression n plus 8, for example 1. When n is equal to 6, you just replace the n with 6, and then do order of operations, add the 6 and 8 together, and you get 14. Same thing here, very simple example. When n minus 2, you replace the n with 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. Very basic ones. So evaluate means to solve by substitution. All right, another way you'll see this problem, which we saw last year, is evaluate the expression if a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 4. So here we have example 1. We have 3a plus b. This means 3 times a plus b. So all we're going to do is substitute the 3 for the a right here, and then we follow order of operations, which means we multiply first. 3 times 3 is 9, and then we add and we get 13. Same thing over here for number 2, and you're to write these down in your notes. You have 2 times b minus a, so I substitute the b for 4 and the a for 3. 2 times 4 is 8. I do order of operations. Minus 3 is 5. Very simple problems. All right, so we have some problems that we're going to do in our notebook, and I'm going to walk you through a few of them. If you already know how to do this, then you can screenshot this and go ahead and work the problems and then check your answers, because I will have the answers at the back of the video. So you are to work these problems. So let's get started. When we substitute, now I'm hoping that you will watch this because I do have some things to show you. So even though you think you know it all, we do need to remind you of a few things. So I'm going to rewrite 2a plus b, and I'm going to substitute the a and the b. And I want you to notice what I do. When I substitute, which we didn't do in the previous example, I'm going to always put what I substitute, a is negative 2, into parentheses. B is 5. So anything that I substitute, I put in parentheses, and the reason I do that is not because of PEMDAS necessarily, but because of negative signs. Now I'm going to follow order of operations. I multiply first, so this would be 2 times a negative 2 is negative 4, plus a positive 5. Remember, you subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. So 5 minus 4 is 1, and 5 is positive, so that is 1. All right, let's do number 2. We're going to do this one now. Notice that you have a negative a minus bc. So I'm going to walk you through this one. So a is negative 2, but you already have a negative a. So what you're going to do is write the negative, then you're going to substitute the negative 2 for the a, then you do minus b, which is 5, times c, which is 6. Everything in parentheses. Now, look what you have. You have a negative times a negative 2. That means you have a negative 1 times negative 2. Negative times a negative makes a positive, so that becomes a positive. Minus, you have to do order of operations, 5 times 6 is 30. So 2 minus 30, well, you're going to do keep, change, change when you subtract. So keep, change that to adding, and change that to a negative. So now you follow the rules of addition. Negative 30 plus 2, that gives me negative 28. You're going to get a lot of practice with your integers. If you're not good at them now, you're going to get it all year, and you'll be great at them by the end of the year. All right, let's pick number 3 and do that one. All right, so this was 1, this was 2, now we do 3. So number 3, we have 2c minus 5a. So I'm going to substitute in parentheses. So c is 6, so I do 2 times c, which is 2 times 6, minus 5 times a, and a is negative 2. Now I have to multiply first for order of operations. So 2 times 6 is 12, minus, and then if you do 5 times a negative 2, you have a negative 10. So I have 12 minus a negative 10. Remember, we do keep, change, 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 change. So I'm going to end up with 12 plus 10, which makes 22. All right, so your job is to do the rest of these problems in your notebook and practice. And that's not all, because then we also are going to do these problems in our notebook. So these are practice problems in our notebook through 20. Now, I did promise you that I would show you the answers, and I will. But at this point, you need to do your whisk. So make sure you do your whisk in your notes. Tell me when and where you watched it, summarize the video, and ask any questions that you have, especially questions that you might have from actually doing some of this work. And we can go over them in class. Okay, so make sure you check your work, make sure you show. Here are the answers to 1 through 10. Here are the answers to 11 through 16, and then through 20. So you can double check your work and ask questions. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.